Welcome back to another edition of our 31 Nights of Halloween movies. So, next movie we're going to talk about is Pearl. Movie came out in 2022. Let's see, Pearl, it serves as an origin story for the villain whose fervent aspiration to become a movie star led to her committing violent acts on her family's Texas homestead in 1918. So, if you're familiar with the movie X, this movie here, Pearl, it's more of a prequel, an origin story, if you want to say, for the character Pearl, right? I mean, if you want to watch this one first, if you haven't seen X before, you can do it, or you can watch X first. And then the third movie in the trilogy is called Maxine. Haven't saw that one yet, but that's next on the list. But this movie here, Mia Goth, I mean, she got a chance to show well, display a lot of her acting range, like a lot of her horror acting range, like you know, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like she was multiple characters. Her character, like, it's one of those things. She's not dressed up as a clown, but I would say that a lot of her facial expressions reminds me of a clown. Reminds me of Pennywise, Ronald McDonald, the Terrifier. Art the Clown. So she gives those serious type of vibes in this movie. But the tone of it also reminds me of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of. I guess because they're out there on the farm in the country in a rural area. But her character, it's I don't feel bad for her character. I don't. But her character is just straight pure evil. Her character is pure evil. Um, this, you know, the character Pearl, you know, like you take a character like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. Let's focus on Michael Myers, okay? People are fascinated because they want to hear him talk. They think it would be so cool if you got to hear him talk. I don't think it would make him cooler if you heard him talk. I think like see you want Michael. See, a lot of y'all want Michael Myers to talk because he's just silent. You want to know, what does he have to say? I don't care what he has to say. Actions matter more than words. Look at his actions. So I can care less if he says anything. His actions, that's the issue. Pearl, she talks a lot. I think she talks too much. She's explaining what she's gonna do and why she's gonna do it. It still doesn't make sense. So to me, that's the equivalent of you just being quiet and not saying anything, nothing of substance. And it's like with Pearl, you want her to just shut up. You do. Oh, I'm gonna be a dancer and blah blah blah. So you don't want me to do that? Boom! I gotta kill you. Boom. But but it's one of those movies. Like I felt like with the Terrifier, I can only watch that one time. I understand the assignment on it as far as being a brilliant horror movie, the torture thing and stuff. I get it. All right, it did what it was supposed to do. With Pearl, the same thing. Um, it's a lot of situations where it's like the person she's going after, you like, man, just shut up and get the hell up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up, get that, like, let her be. Be very, very supportive in front of her as nice as you can, and then get the far away, get so far away from her. You know, there's a chase scene in here where it's similar to like a Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's one of those things. It's like the people who are the victims. You're like, hey man, where's your sense of urgency? But the thing about it is that as the audience, as a viewer, when you're watching the movie, you forget that the people that are in the movie, they don't have the same perspective as you. They're not privy to everything that you saw. So they learning about it firsthand, and they're responding to it and digesting it. And sometimes as human beings, when we're responding to certain things, we may freeze up, or we may just end up moving lackadaisical because we still trying to digest like what in the world is going on. But she is very terrifying. Like she's legit terrifying. Glad they dealt with her in X, but she is very terrifying. I mean, you the thing about it is you can do multiple prequels. You can do a Pearl sequel. I mean, excuse me, but because they leave it open to where it's like, hey, there's gonna be more to come because she's still young. She's like in her early 20s or something like that. But I mean, it's a legit horror movie. This movie here was made during COVID, and a lot of scenes in the movie you can tell it was inspired by what happened during COVID. Where everybody's wearing the mask, everybody's worrying about getting sick. It reminds like it kind of reminds me of like Sweet Tooth. If you watch the show Sweet Tooth, they worry about the sick. Yeah, so, but yeah, definitely recommend it. Mia Goth gives off an amazing performance, and David Cornsweet. This was the first movie I can recall that I've seen him in, because I wasn't aware of the young man until they announced he's going to play Superman, and he looks like they picked the right person for the job. I mean, so they always do a good job for the most part for casting Superman, but this is the first movie that I can recall that I saw him in, and he was a good, strong supporting character in this movie. So I highly recommend check out Pearl. Scale to 1 to 10, I'll give Pearl an 8. Yeah, because it had a lot of terrifying moments. That's why I was like, golly, man. Ti is it Ti West or is it T West? Mr. West, you did the doggone thing, and I'm not talking about Kanye. All right, but anyways, hey, you like movies, you like sports. That means you like me. All right, so please hit that like and subscribe button. Student of the Game podcast. Thank you for tuning to another edition of our 31 Nights of Halloween. Peace.